Good evening, my weary academics, and welcome to History to Sleep By, where we nerd out and conk out. If you enjoy calm, narrated history documentaries or just need a reliable friend to help with restless nights, please subscribe, leave a like, and maybe share a comment about what's happening in your life. That way, you'll always find your way back to us. Now, let's begin tonight's journey. The night was cold and quiet after the American forces made their strategic withdrawal from a sun-pink creek on January 2, 1777. General George Washington, ever the tactician, decided to slip away under the cover of darkness. His army, weary but resolute, moved silently on a circuitous route toward Princeton. The British, under the command of General Charles Cornwallis, remained unaware of Washington's bold maneuver. They had expected to face him in battle at dawn, only to find empty positions and a trail of extinguished campfires. As the American troops advanced, they encountered the British detachment led by Colonel Charles Mawhood. This detachment comprised elements of the 17th, 40th, and 55th Foot Regiments. Mawhood, a seasoned officer, was tasked with maintaining British control in the area. On the morning of January 3rd, as the sun began to rise, his forces were marching southward toward Trenton, unaware of the American presence. The terrain around Princeton was a patchwork of fields, orchards, and small streams. Stony Brook meandered through the landscape, while Quaker Road provided a vital artery for movement. The Clark Farm, with its orchard, became a focal point for the unfolding drama. As the American vanguard, under General Hugh Mercer, moved along Quaker Road, they encountered Mawhood's column. The clash was sudden and fierce. Mercer's men, primarily militia and Continental soldiers, engaged the British with determination. The fighting quickly devolved into brutal hand-to-hand combat. Bayonets flashed in the morning light as men grappled in the cold air. Mercer, a gallant leader, was mortally wounded during the melee. His fall sent ripples of uncertainty through the American ranks. The militia, shaken by the loss of their commander and the intensity of the British counterattack, began to waver. At this critical juncture, Washington arrived on the scene. His presence was both commanding and reassuring. Riding into the fray, he rallied the faltering troops, urging them to hold their ground. With calm resolve, Washington stabilized the line, instilling a renewed sense of purpose in his soldiers. The Americans, buoyed by their leader's courage, regrouped and prepared for a coordinated counterattack. The American forces, now under Washington's direct command, pressed forward with renewed vigor. Their assault was decisive, driving the British back toward Princeton. Mawhood, recognizing the untenable position, ordered a retreat through the town. The Americans pursued with determination, their spirits lifted by the sight of the British in flight. As the battle moved into Princeton, the College of New Jersey, known today as Princeton University, became a focal point. Nassau Hall, a grand structure on the campus, served as a temporary refuge for British troops. American forces, undeterred, surrounded the building. A few well-placed cannon shots persuaded the British to surrender. The capture of Nassau Hall marked the culmination of the American victory. In the aftermath, the Americans took stock of their gains. They had captured several hundred British soldiers and a significant amount of material. The British, having suffered losses and a blow to their morale, began to consolidate their forces, pulling back toward New Brunswick. Washington, seizing the opportunity, moved his army to winter quarters in Morristown. This strategic positioning allowed the Americans to regroup and prepare for future engagements. The Battle of Princeton, though brief, had profound effects. It marked the third victory in a series of engagements known as the 10 Crucial Days. These successes boosted American morale and reinvigorated the revolutionary cause. The audacity of Washington's maneuvers demonstrated the resilience and ingenuity of the Continental Army. As the winter settled over New Jersey, the Americans found solace in their achievements, knowing they had turned the tide in their favor. As you drift into sleep, let the echoes of history's quiet triumphs and strategic brilliance soothe your mind. The story of Princeton is one of perseverance and hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, a new dawn can bring unexpected victories. Rest easy, dear listener, and may your dreams be filled with the calm resolve of those who came before us. In the quiet aftermath of the Battle of Princeton, The Continental Army sought refuge in the small town of Morristown. The winter of 1777 was harsh, but the spirits of the soldiers were buoyed by recent victories. Morristown, nestled in the hills of New Jersey, offered a strategic location for Washington and his men. The town provided a natural defense with its surrounding hills and dense forests. The soldiers set about constructing makeshift huts, their breath visible in the crisp air as they worked tirelessly to build a temporary home. Supplies were scarce, yet the local community offered what little they could spare. Farmers brought forth provisions, and the townsfolk shared their warmth and hospitality. Despite the cold and the hunger, there was a sense of unity and purpose. The soldiers, many of whom were young and far from home, found comfort in the camaraderie that had developed among them. Around campfires, they shared stories of their homes and dreams of the future, their laughter mingling with the crackling of the flames. Washington, ever the vigilant leader, spent his days planning and strategizing. He knew the importance of maintaining the momentum gained from recent victories. His presence was a steadying force, instilling confidence in his men. The general often walked among the soldiers, offering words of encouragement and listening to their concerns. His ability to connect with his troops was a testament to his leadership, fostering a deep sense of loyalty and respect. As the snow fell gently over Morristown, the Army's resolve only strengthened. The soldiers trained diligently, honing their skills and preparing for the challenges that lay ahead. The winter months were a time of reflection and growth, both for the individuals and the Army as a whole. The lessons learned from previous battles were not forgotten, but rather used to build a stronger, more cohesive fighting force. The landscape around Morristown was serene, blanketed in a pristine layer of snow. The quiet beauty of the winter scene belied the harsh realities faced by the soldiers. Yet, in this stillness, there was also a sense of peace. Nature's calm offered a respite from the chaos of war, allowing the men to gather their thoughts and renew their spirits. The rhythm of daily life in the encampment became a comforting routine, providing structure and purpose. As winter slowly gave way to spring, the days grew longer and the air warmer. The soldiers emerged from their huts, blinking in the bright sunlight, ready to resume their march toward independence. The trials of the winter had forged a bond among them, a shared experience that would carry them through the battles to come. The town of Morristown, with its quiet strength and enduring spirit, had become a symbol of resilience and hope. The echoes of the past lingered in the air, a reminder of the sacrifices made and the victories won. The story of those winter months in Morristown is one of quiet determination and steadfast resolve. It is a testament to the power of unity and the strength of the human spirit. As you close your eyes and drift into sleep, let the gentle whispers of history guide you. Dream of the courage and perseverance of those who came before, and find comfort in the knowledge that even in the darkest of times, there is always the promise of a new dawn. As the snows began to melt and the first signs of spring timidly emerged, Morristown awoke from its long winter slumber. The soldiers, who had endured the harsh months with grit and camaraderie, now felt a renewed sense of purpose. The air, still crisp but tinged with the scent of thawing earth, carried with it the promise of change. The landscape, once blanketed in white, slowly revealed patches of green, a gentle reminder that life persisted even after the harshest of winters. The townsfolk, too, emerged from their homes, their spirits lifted by the warmer days. They had shared their provisions and offered what little comfort they could to the weary soldiers. Now they watched as the camp came alive with activity. Tents were repaired, uniforms were mended, and the sounds of drills echoed through the fields. The soldiers, their faces weathered by the cold, moved with a newfound energy. They knew that the battles ahead would test their resolve, but the unity forged in the depths of winter gave them strength. General Washington, ever the steadfast leader, walked among his men, offering words of encouragement and gratitude. His presence was a beacon of hope, a reminder that their cause was just and their sacrifices not in vain. He understood the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, yet he carried it with grace and determination. The bond between him and his men was unspoken but deeply felt, a shared understanding that transcended words. As the days grew longer, preparations for the coming campaigns intensified. Supplies were gathered, strategies discussed, and alliances strengthened. The soldiers, once strangers brought together by circumstance, now moved as one. Their shared experiences had woven a tapestry of loyalty and trust, each thread a testament to their resilience. They knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they faced it with courage and conviction. Amidst the preparations, there were moments of respite. Laughter echoed through the camp as soldiers shared stories and songs around the fire. These brief interludes of joy were cherished, a reminder of the simple pleasures that sustained them. The camaraderie that had blossomed in the depths of winter now flourished in the light of spring. It was a bond that would carry them through the trials to come, a source of strength in the face of adversity. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the camp, the soldiers gathered for evening prayers. The quiet murmur of voices rose into the night, a collective offering of hope and gratitude. The stars, bright and unwavering, watched over them, silent witnesses to their journey. In those moments of stillness, the soldiers found solace, a reminder that they were part of something greater than themselves. The days turned into weeks, and the preparations continued. The soldiers honed their skills, their movements precise and coordinated. The rhythm of the camp was steady, a testament to their discipline and resolve. Each day brought them closer to the inevitable clash, yet they faced it with unwavering determination. The lessons of winter had taught them the value of perseverance, and they carried that knowledge with them into the future. As the first blossoms appeared on the trees, a sense of anticipation filled the air. The soldiers, their spirits buoyed by the changing season, stood ready for what lay ahead. The town of Morristown, with its quiet strength and enduring spirit, had become a sanctuary, a place where they had found both refuge and resolve. It was a chapter in their story, a testament to their resilience and unity. And so, as the sun rose on a new day, the soldiers prepared to march forward. The path before them was uncertain, but they faced it with courage and hope. The echoes of their journey lingered in the air, a reminder of the strength forged in the crucible of winter. As they set out, the promise of a new dawn guided their steps, a beacon of light in the darkness. In the quiet moments before sleep, let your thoughts drift to those who walked before us. Their courage and perseverance are woven into the fabric of history, a legacy of strength and unity. As you close your eyes, let the gentle whispers of the past guide you, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always the promise of a new dawn. Dream of resilience and hope, and find comfort in the knowledge that the human spirit endures, ever steadfast, ever strong. In the soft glow of the early morning, the world seemed to hold its breath. The first light of dawn painted the horizon with hues of gold and rose, a gentle promise of the day to come. The travelers, weary from their long journey, paused to take in the beauty of the moment. The air was crisp and fresh, carrying with it the scent of pine and earth, a reminder of the natural world that surrounded them. Each step forward was a testament to their resolve, a quiet declaration of their intent to carve out a new life in this unfamiliar land. The landscape unfolded before them, vast and untamed, a canvas of endless possibilities. Rolling hills gave way to dense forests, their towering trees standing like sentinels, guardians of the secrets held within their ancient boughs. Rivers wound their way through the valleys, their waters sparkling in the morning light, a lifeline for the creatures that called this place home. The travelers moved with purpose, guided by the knowledge that this land, though wild and unpredictable, held the promise of a future they could scarcely imagine. As they journeyed deeper into the wilderness, they were reminded of those who had come before them. The stories of past explorers and settlers echoed in their minds, tales of hardship and triumph that had shaped the world they now inhabited. These stories were not merely legends, but the very foundation upon which their own lives were built. Each tale carried with it a lesson, a piece of wisdom passed down through the ages, a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. The travelers knew that their journey was but one chapter in a much larger narrative. They were part of a continuum, a thread woven into the tapestry of history. This realization brought with it a sense of connection, a bond that transcended time and place. It was this bond that gave them strength, a reminder that they were never truly alone. With each step, they carried with them the hopes and dreams of those who had walked this path before, a legacy of courage and determination that would guide them through the challenges that lay ahead. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the warmth of its rays dispelled the lingering chill of night. The travelers paused to rest, their bodies weary but their spirits undaunted. They gathered around a small fire, its flames dancing merrily, a beacon of warmth and light in the vastness of the wilderness. The crackling of the fire was a comforting sound, a reminder of home and hearth, of the simple pleasures that sustained them on their journey. In the quiet moments, they shared stories and laughter, their voices mingling with the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant call of birds. These moments of camaraderie were precious, a balm for their weary souls. They spoke of their dreams for the future, of the lives they hoped to build in this new land. Each dream was unique, a reflection of the individual hopes and desires that drove them forward. Yet, there was a common thread that bound them together, a shared vision of a better tomorrow. As the day wore on, the travelers resumed their journey, their footsteps steady and sure. They moved with a sense of purpose, guided by the knowledge that each step brought them closer to their destination. The path was not always easy, but they faced each challenge with courage and determination. They knew that the road ahead would be long and arduous, but they were undeterred. For them, the journey was as important as the destination, a testament to their resilience and strength. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the landscape. The travelers paused once more, their eyes drawn to the beauty of the setting sun. The sky was a canvas of vibrant colors, a breathtaking display that marked the end of another day. As darkness fell, they made camp, their hearts full of hope and anticipation for the days to come. In the quiet of the night, as they lay beneath a blanket of stars, they found solace in the knowledge that they were part of something greater than themselves. The journey they had undertaken was not merely a quest for a new home, but a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. It was a reminder that, even in the face of uncertainty, there is always the promise of a new dawn. And so, with hearts full of hope and dreams of a brighter future, they closed their eyes and drifted into a peaceful slumber, cradled by the gentle embrace of the night. The morning arrived with a gentle whisper, the first light of dawn casting a soft glow over the landscape. The travelers stirred from their rest, the cool air invigorating their spirits. Birds began their morning chorus, a harmonious symphony that welcomed the new day. Slowly, they rose from their makeshift beds, shaking off the remnants of sleep and gathering their belongings with quiet determination. The path ahead was long, but the promise of discovery urged them onward. As they resumed their journey, the terrain gradually shifted beneath their feet. Rolling hills gave way to expansive plains, the horizon stretching endlessly before them. The sun climbed higher, its warmth a comforting presence as they walked. Along the way, they encountered signs of life in this vast wilderness. A herd of deer grazed in the distance, their graceful forms a testament to the land's abundance. Occasionally, a lone tree would stand sentinel, its branches reaching skyward as if in silent prayer. The travelers moved with purpose, their steps steady and sure. Each mile brought them closer to their destination, yet they remained mindful of the journey itself. They spoke little, content to let the rhythm of their footsteps and the gentle rustle of the wind fill the silence. There was a peace in this simplicity, a quiet understanding that words were not always necessary. As the sun reached its zenith, they paused to rest in the shade of a large oak. The tree's leaves whispered secrets to the breeze, a soothing lullaby that eased their weary limbs. They shared a simple meal, the taste of bread and cheese a welcome comfort. Laughter punctuated their respite, a reminder of the bonds they had forged along the way. In these moments, they found strength in one another, a shared resolve that fueled their journey. The afternoon sun cast long shadows as they resumed their trek. The landscape continued to evolve, subtle changes marking their progress. Fields of wildflowers danced in the breeze, a riot of color that painted the earth with vibrant hues. The scent of blossoms filled the air, a a fragrant reminder of nature's bounty. It was a world alive with possibility, each step a testament to the beauty that surrounded them. As the day waned, they approached a river, its waters glistening in the fading light. The gentle murmur of the current provided a soothing backdrop, a melody that echoed the rhythm of their hearts. They paused at the water's edge, taking a moment to reflect on the journey thus far. The river was a symbol of continuity, its steady flow a reminder that life, like the water, was ever-changing yet constant. With the setting sun painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson, they crossed the river, the cool water a refreshing balm for their tired feet. On the other side, the land rose gently, a promise of new horizons waiting to be explored. They pressed onward, the fading light guiding their way as twilight descended. Nightfall found them once more under the canopy of stars, their camp a circle of warmth and camaraderie. The fire crackled softly, its glow a beacon in the darkness. As they settled in for the night, their thoughts turned to the days ahead. The journey was far from over, yet each step brought them closer to their goal. There was comfort in this knowledge, a quiet assurance that they were on the right path. In the stillness of the night, they found peace. The world around them was vast and mysterious, yet it held a promise of endless possibilities. As they drifted into sleep, their dreams were filled with visions of what lay beyond the horizon. It was a future bright with hope, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. And so, cradled by the gentle embrace of the night, they rested, ready to face whatever the dawn might